What's up, guys? Now, the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury match just ended, so I'm going to go through this boxing fight really quick. This decision was a robbery. I mean, you have to say it's a robbery. You look at the scorecards, and the judges gave Deontay Wilder 115 to 111. What does that mean? Deontay Wilder won 7 rounds out of the 12 and had 2 10-8 rounds. He won 7 rounds in the fight. One of the judges gave Tyson Fury a 114 to 110. That sounds logical. That's giving Tyson Fury 10 rounds but losing 2 by 10-8. And then another one was a 113 to 113, a draw, which again, it doesn't really make sense. Let's look at Wilder and let's give him every round that's arguable for him. 2nd, 4th, 9th, and 12th. 2nd and 4th arguably can go to him, but I still gave him to Tyson Fury. I think Fury did more than Wilder did defensively and offensively. But fine, we'll give it to Wilder for the benefit of the doubt. And we'll give the 9th and 12th rounds as a 10-8, of course. That's still of 114 to 112 for Fury, and we're giving Wilder everything he needs. We're being very generous to Wilder on the scorecards. Logically looking at this fight, I agree with the 114-110 for Tyson Fury. That's what I had live for the fight. I said in the 4th round you can probably lean towards Deontay Wilder, but nothing else. 2nd round, I was kind of confused how they gave the 2nd round to Deontay Wilder. It's a complete circus. I mean, this kind of decision is the kind of decision that makes me want to stop watching boxing. Now, I stopped watching boxing a while ago. It was for a very similar reason. When Pacquiao lost to Bradley, that was like a little bit after I stopped watching boxing, but that just furthered it. I'm like, I'm done with this sport. This might be it. It might be the nail in the coffin for me. Such an incredible fight. A fight that you have to be fair, right? You have to give the winner the fight. If he won the fight, after going through such a brutal path to win this fight. We're talking about Tyson Fury, who was off for 3-4 years, whatever it was, went through depression, all these mental issues, got overweight massively, and then cut all that weight, got the motivation back, came into boxing, fought 2 tune-up fights, which is fine, and they weren't that long ago. They were very close in proximity, and then he goes and fights one of the best heavyweights today, and he won the fight. You have to give him the fight. He got dropped twice in the fight. One of them, it was frightening. I mean, a lot of people were looking at the fight saying Tyson Fury is going to run with this. He's blowing out Deontay Wilder in this fight. Then he gets almost KO'd unconscious. I mean, when he got hit by the right hand toward the ear and then the left hook to follow it up, it put Tyson Fury out cold. His head hit the ground a little bit. Maybe I've woken up a little bit, but I don't think so. Because he was still looking at the lights and the ref got in his face and yelling at him the count. And Fury just came back. Right? He wasn't even that. He was still rocked, of course, but we've seen a lot of people get dropped like that, and they are not the same for the rest of the fight. They usually get KO'd after that. So he went through all that adversity just to get a draw in a fight that he deserved the win. That's despicable. As someone who trains and knows what fighters go through, I mean, it's heartbreaking sometimes. Now, I'm glad to see Tyson Fury. Yes, you can see he's upset about it, but he really feels he won the fight, which is a good thing for his confidence. Most people watching the fight view this as a win for Fury. Wilder thought he won the fight. Of course, he's probably going to say that. This is worse than the Canelo versus Triple G. The Canelo versus Triple G, you can give some argument. Now, there's not too much. You can give some argument that Canelo may have done enough to draw the fight or even win. I'm saying the rematch. The first fight, I believe Triple G won the fight easily. This one, I want to see a quote-unquote expert argue a win for Wilder through the judges. I want to see it happen. I cannot see any argument logically that's going to convince anybody. And this may be the final time I really care to watch a boxing fight. I just can't care anymore. Because this can happen with anything. This can happen with any fight. And in boxing, decisions happen a lot more than other combat sports. So you're going to see a lot more robberies in boxing. But what happened in the actual fight? I mean, this is important. The substance of the fight, what these two brought in there, and they put their hearts out in that ring. I mean, you had Tyson Fury for the most part landing the jab, avoiding the right hand, ducking under the right hand every single time, besides the 9th and 12th round where he got knocked down. But even then, he was trying to. But for the most part, I mean, how many right hands did he dodge? How many right hands did he duck under? Did he bob and weave? And it was very simple movements, but they were quick, and they were slick as well. It was almost like he can see the right hand before Wilder knew that he was going to throw. The setup right away got Fury to know, okay, the right hand's coming. The right hand's coming. This is the only punch that Wilder was coming for. But he also did throw the left hook a couple times to the body to mix it up, which I was very happy to see because that right hand was getting too obvious. So mixing up with the left hook was a great addition to it. But Fury, for the most part, jabs at a distance. He would make it look like he's going to enter quickly and cover a little bit more than he usually does. But no, he just moves forward, halts, jabs on Wilder as Wilder reacts and leans away and pulls on the punches. But the reach is just a little bit too much for Wilder. So That was happening for the most part. There were a couple short right hands which stunned Wilder. In the first round, he got stunned a little bit. And what I can remember in the last round, a right hand did land, but then there was a left hook on the inside as well after Fury got knocked down and stunned Wilder back up to the ropes. Pretty much for the most part, that's what the fight was. Fury was taking control of the fight. He was dictating the pace. He was landing at will almost. His punch percentage was extremely high, where Wilder's was like at an all-time low. I mean, this fight really went down almost exactly of what I said in my prediction video, right? Wilder was going to miss a lot. He was going to throw the right hand too much. He's limited in weapons, which showed in the fight. Jab, left hook, and right straight. Sometimes the winging right overhands when he gets a little bit more wild. That's pretty much it. And his entries are all the same. They're all the same. It's a linear path. He moves the entire fight. No lateral movement like Fury does. And I said the jabs of Fury are going to land a lot. His movements are too quick. He's too slick. I didn't think he would get dropped in the fight. He did twice. So that just shows the power and the consistency of Wilder to keep throwing. And eventually he just needs one to put a guy down. And anybody would have been out cold. I believe Anthony Joshua would probably have been out cold. I believe Klitschko would have been out cold. Tyson Fury took those shots. Yes, he was dropped, he was hurt, he got back up, he recovered so quickly. I mean, in the first time he got dropped, it was more of an equilibrium imbalance, where it hit over the top of the ear, which it doesn't really matter how good your chin is, that usually puts a guy down, but it doesn't put him out cold, you know what I'm saying? So they lose their balance, he goes down, and he's immediately there, he's all in his senses. And then the second time he got knocked down, it was right on the ear, but the left hook was the finishing blow. And when Fury got up eventually, he started getting up, I think, around 8 when ref was counting, and he was coming right back at Deontay Wilder. Wilder was trying to finish the fight. He was throwing those windmill punches. I wish he stayed a little bit more composed so he could possibly finish the fight, but the windmill punches are not going to hit Fury, even when Fury's out of it. I mean, it's just not going to hit a guy like that. Then Fury started coming back, and after all that, after him coming back, he goes and starts taunting Deontay Wilder. He's playing mental warfare with Wilder, and there was a point where Wilder, he stopped his aggression. He was just watching and staring at Tyson Fury, and Fury was recovering. I mean, the mental warfare of Tyson Fury, I think, is the greatest, you could say, since Muhammad Ali, and there's no one before Muhammad Ali that's greater than Tyson Fury when it comes to it. Across all sports. All sports. You can look at MMA, you can look at guys like Conor McGregor and all those guys. I think Tyson Fury is the best we have seen since Ali and second to Ali. It's crazy the things he can do to a guy mentally in a fight, before the fight, while he's rocked, and play them out of their game for even a second. And this just shows all the adversity he has went through in this fight. And all the effort he went through while winning most of the fight rewarded him with a draw. The adversity this guy went through in that fight and put his will against Deontay Wilder's. It's amazing to watch. I mean, and you have to give it to Deontay Wilder as well. I mean, he has probably the most dynamic right hand I have ever seen in boxing. Ever. Even with the limited amount of weapons he has, in terms of the punches he utilizes, he still is able to hurt guys, elite level boxers, and put them away, drop them, all this sort of stuff. And he's not known as a technical boxer, and he's still able to do this stuff. Here's another thing. He weighed about 45-ish pounds less than Tyson Fury, and he still has his power. It's crazy. He doesn't have the weight of these heavyweights behind his punches, but he hits harder than all of them. It might be because of his length, it might be because of his height, the way he throws himself into the punches, the way he commits, and all the leverage he has. But in weight, he doesn't stack up to standards in heavyweight today. And I'd love to see them do some kind of science behind his power. It's crazy. I believe Tyson Fury is an all-time great heavyweight. I believe he's the greatest heavyweight today. I mean, how can you not agree with that? I believe Wilder is second, and there is Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua still has to prove himself against one of these two. But to be honest, I just don't care anymore. I don't care about the rematch anymore. I don't care about Anthony Joshua fighting these guys anymore. I don't care whoever these guys fight anymore. I mean, it's a shame because I care for these fighters, but the outcome that's going to come, I just can't invest my time in it. So it was a great fight. It was a great fight with one of the worst decisions in recent times. And after the things Tyson Fury went through before the fight and during the fight, and he doesn't get the rightful decision, I mean, how can you not be upset at that? How can you not be frustrated? Even if you're not a Fury fan at first, you have to be frustrated at this. So it's a shame. Whatever. It's a good fight. They got paid for the fight, of course. Fury showed that he is an amazing boxer. Many people doubted his skills coming back, but he proved those guys wrong as well. I mean, there were boxing legends. There were many, many experts that believed that Tyson Fury would never be the same after what he went through, the layoff and the mental issues and the weight gain and all that stuff. I think he came back better than ever. better than ever. This was the best Tyson Fury I've ever seen. And he showed the heart of a champion. He showed he has a chin. He showed that he's not unwillingly to engage a powerful puncher, probably the hardest, most terrifying puncher in recent heavyweight history. Not afraid to do that as well. And he's not even a power puncher. He's a volume puncher, but he relies on that slick movement and his technical abilities. Whatever, man. I was so amped for the fight. I was so excited by the time even the fight ended, but then the decision just ruined it for me, ruined the sport for me again. So that's my reaction to the fight. That's my reaction to the decision. It can seem pretty exaggerated, not caring for boxing all that much anymore because of this fight. But this is just an ongoing thing. I've been through this before. Years back, I just didn't watch any boxing. Once MMA came about, I was fully into that. I didn't really care about anything lesser in terms of like less weapons, less utilization of martial arts, all that sort of stuff. Until a guy like Lomachenko came, even on the amateur scene, that really brought my interest back into boxing. But then this stuff just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. It can happen to Lomachenko. It can happen to Anthony Joshua. It can happen against Wilder. I mean, it's just crazy. It's a crazy game. But I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. And leave a comment below. What are your guys' thoughts on the whole night? This is what my opinion is. I'm really curious to see what you guys think as well. I'm very much looking forward to reading your guys' comments. Does this ruin boxing for you? Has it already been ruined for you? I know a lot of people came to me on Twitter and stuff saying, this is why I don't watch boxing and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of MMA fans, it seems like this is a reason why they don't watch boxing anymore, and I don't blame them. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.